up, Riders? You know who it is. You know what time it is. Your boy Savage, aka Sev Cisneros. You tuning in to Sev Lokes Hood Tales 2.0. Like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell. Let's get to the politic. Big shout out to everybody showing the channel love. Appreciate the love and support. Thank you for the interactions. Before I start this video, let me make this clear. I am not promoting the gang life or the gang culture to anybody in any way or form. I'm just telling a testimony, giving life experiences that I went through and shining some light on the Denver Metro. And in the process, hopefully I can help somebody out that may be going down the wrong road. That's the main mission. So with that being said, let's get to the video. And in this video, I want to talk about this little situation. So I was having a discussion with one of my partners that, has been in my life for a long time, and grew up with the homie. He's been in the trenches with me, and he's seen the dramatic change that I've, been actually working for. And, he said, bro, big respect to you out of everything and all the stuff you've been through, that you're pushing for success and you're not letting nobody take you off your square. He's like, most fools wouldn't even know how to handle that and what direction to take. He asked me, what's been, the biggest thing to help you, get through what you went through, and get to a point that you are now, and you're just pushing for success and being prosperous, and like I was telling him, bro, the real people in my life that, that love me genuinely, not this fake love that's out there. There's a lot of fake love that's out there from fools that, supposed to be your comrades and your brothers, bro. But when real situations occur in life, them same fools are nowhere to be found. And it's just a lot of fake love, and me being a person that, is loyal, because I'm a loyalist, like all the way around. I've come to the conclusion I really have to love the people that love me, and not, love this fairy tale of the gang life and the gang culture, because there's no love, push back in the direction towards an individual like me. Now, don't get me wrong, there's always going to be homies that, I love and respect, and they're going to have love and respect for me. But when it boils down to it, the gang facade and the fairy tale that comes with it, family aspect, it's a lot of characters, bro, and it's not 100% all the way around. He was surprised because anybody that knows me, that's ever been in the trenches for me, they know Savage Sev, the Sev Loke, is a loyalist, bro. I wear my emotions on my sleeves for things that I love. I've always been a loyalist to things that I love, to things that I feel like is worth fighting for. I always will go the extra, to the smallest things, bro, from people that are in my life. If I got love for you and I respect you, I will go the distance for you. Even when you mess up, wrong, right, or indifferent, I will, throw a blind eye to that and still love you and be like, homie, we gonna get through this, even if you're in the wrong. That's just how I be. When my football teams, Broncos country, they cannot do no wrong, because this is a team, that's been embedded in my family, and the love is there. It's real, genuine love. This ain't just a sport. It's, the aspect of a lifestyle, and, to the gang life. It's been something that, is embedded, in me from an early age, bro. Like, I started rolling with my neighborhood and being around the homies and older cousins, because a lot of the family members are a part of what we do. And I felt like, it was owed back to them. I felt like, the loyalty was owed back to, the relatives that taught me how to actually conduct myself as a young man and, be a rider. There was days that, I was putting my life on the line for the organization and didn't even know I was staring death in the eyes, because it got hectic out there. Um, God's protection was always amongst me, from, different times when it could have turned into a different situation, bro. When before I went to the penitentiary, uh, stuff was getting out of control with my circle and different foods out here in Denver. I'm talking about, a lot of warfare, and it was felt like every night somebody was getting hit. Every night somebody was getting, a case for shootings. It felt like it was, World War III. My older cousin catches, a shooting case on Alameda and Federal, and I got shot and different foods was getting hit. My little homie caught a murder case, and like I did not have any fear factor of death. Like I get shot, that just caused me to grab more pistols and give pistols all out to the people around me. And we had hatred. There was no, separating the reality of death and then just this thing that we call gangbanging, the hobby of gangbanging. No, it was, playing with fire, bro. And, I almost lost my life to, the game at that time, because I was looking at, life sentences. At an early age of 18, I was looking at life sentences, and, they were trying to actually give me and my baby bro, life sentences. I would have never been out, or I would have got out when I was, 80 years old. Um, and just not seeing the aspect of the facade it comes with, because right when I went to the penitentiary, bro, you didn't really, that the loyalty from other people didn't stay with you. I was on the yard doing the time alone. Homies from the hood, you think they wrote? You think them fools um, send money for canteen? Nah, I went over there and dealt with that emotionally, like, and the homies was nowhere to be found because they were living their lives. I mean, not surprising, but everything, the sweat, blood, tears that I put in for the homies, you know, when my life was on the line, you know, uh, they were dealing with their own things, bro, and it was kind of like out of sight, out of mind. Um, got to the penitentiary yard, bro, and when you, especially a Chicano Crip, and you pushing for the keyways, because when it came to the Crip aspect, I felt like when I first started banging, I started reading Cody Munster, and I felt like we was slipping on our Cripping, bro, and we was not up to par. So me reading the factors from the A trays and seeing what they cripping was all about. Mind is still, heart of stone, see machine, moving on, blue still, blue flag, cripping hard, no turning back, and really putting the military aspect into cripping. When I was out there, it was to eliminate foods that we had beef with, and that's how I roll with on a daily. I pushed that on my little bro's head. I pushed that on my little cousin's head, because it was pushed upon my head. And I felt like if you gonna go all the way with it, definitely you had to push the line 100%. When I got to the penitentiary, it was a culture shock, bro, because when it comes to the keyways and lokes, we ain't all friends. Just because you say you a keyway don't mean that you my homie. And that's how the lokes are. I always said this: it's easier to be a blood, because the bloods, they embrace anybody that says their Don moves. Pretty much that's what I've seen. When you a Crip, you gotta fight for that. You can't just say you a Crip. The Crips will they gon' motherfuck, they gon', see if your cripping's official, and they gon' press the line. They do it to each other, especially the black homies. They tripping on each other. So Spanish homies, you definitely got, something coming. You gonna have a target on your back, and you gonna have to, you know what I'm saying, show through actions that your cripping is 100 and you official. So I was fighting homies. I was fighting the lokes, and in my mind, I'm like, you know, why why am I fighting the homies? It was like I never seen that on the streets. It was always, me tripping with, the Dom moves, and me tripping with the other side. But in the penitentiary, I'm I'm fighting multiple of the homies, bro. And it was kind of it kind of, broke my heart, because it felt like the homies were more of, the enemies than anybody. I even ran into some blood fools in there that, you know, um, gave me some knowledge, and I walked the yard and chopped it up with them fools. And I'm like, dang, homie, how is, the fools from, the Bloods, how they showing more love than some of the Crips? But that's just how Crippin' is, bro, honestly. Um, and then I got into, a situation in Ben County where it turned into a riot, bro. And I seen, and felt, and these fools from, another hood, another Crip hood, you know, um, them fools really could have, did me dirty or took me out, and they wouldn't have no remorse. They didn't care that I was a loc or not. Um, and after that, I kind of started feeling like, you know what I'm saying? It's me versus everybody, and different things, and I had a hatred for different foods, even from the lokes. Um, and I got out, and you would think that, it would persuade me to pretty much not chill with the homies, and kind of just like, just leave it alone. If you can't trust your own, why do you do it? It just don't make no sense. Um, so I got out, bro, and I was pushing the line, and I was doing a lot of recruiting, and I created my own atmosphere when it came to the hood, because I've done it for so long. I felt like, I had to let that leadership out, and I was always a leader. So, definitely, bro, I started creating and putting foods on, you know, um, and that caused a barrier between, foods that raised me, because the foods that, I was bringing to the table, they didn't really know the older homies, really. So it caused a barrier, and now we got to beefing with the older homies, and it was just more in-house beefs, and the older homies feeling like, they don't know these little fools, and these little fools are, they're all the way with it. So they're like, forget the older homies, bro. We on the trenches now, we the new face. And it caused, the atmosphere of, it being separated, bro. And then my loved ones tripping to a point where, my baby bro's tripping with the older homie, the OG homie, and and it got to a point where fools were really like tripping. We didn't even know if we could trust our own family, to a point we fools wasn't even pulling up to family functions, because, you know, fools were talking about in previous conversations getting at each other with gunplay. And it was a stressful and headache time, because these are our real family members. These ain't just fools that, we know. These are my bloodlines, and these are the OG homies, and fools were had to choose up this and that. Um, so, it started just being a situation where I'm just like, it's like, this is not what we signed up for. This is not what the Lokes signed up for. And then another thing is too, and all this time, I got a rider, a loved one, my wife, and she's not no gangbanger, but she at the time she had to ride for what was going on, and um, I kind of put her in predicaments to be in warfare, because I was so active. I was still active out the penitentiary, after the penitentiary, tripping fools we moved to, different enemies' hoods, and my front doorstep is, a war zone. So I have homies over there all the time. My wife is forced to having to ride with the situation because I told her straight up the gang is, comes first. Messed up mindset, but that was my mindset. And it was hectic, like to a point. Um, we started really, really getting back out there and tripping with a lot of foods. The foods that I was around, the youngsters that we were bringing to the table, they were always in the mix of things, tripping with, what was going on in the streets. So it would always push me to be on the front line. Um, so about last year, a lot of stuff was going on, with me and the neighborhood, the hood, and we were we were combining the politics of our organization with a couple other, foods from the keyways. And in doing that, a lot of foods started hearing about the aspect of the new wave of the lokes, especially from our sector. And the little homies were tripping out here. And it was like every other day they was tripping with somebody. Um, and that was kind of, our persona, like we pushing the line to the max where it's going to be the takeover. And that's how we felt. We didn't give a care how you felt about it. We was in other fools hoods doing hood days and pulling up to parks that were from, the opposition, and then putting it on. And these little fools would do live streams, and they'd be like, we in your park. And it caused a lot of, you know, um, tension with fools. And one day we were having a function. I had left the hood day, and sure enough, 1 o'clock in the morning, the homies got into it with some fools when they were on live, and the fools pulled up, and they got into like a shootout, and one of my little homies got hit, and he got hit in the leg, and it was like from there on out, it was just all kinds of warfare, retaliations, and different things, and then I could remember last year, summertime, I'm thinking to myself, this feels like 2004 all over again when, you know, it was getting out of control. Um, so that happens, bro. And then in the morning, like a week after that happens, after the homie gets out the hospital, I get a phone call, and I came from the gym, and I remember this like it was yesterday. My cousin called me, and he said, "Hey, your baby bro," and this is my real brother. He said they identified him with tattoos. He got shot last night in Aurora, and they left him in the alleyway, and he almost bled out, and he's on life support right now. And this is my baby bro that I raised. I broke down, bro. Um, I said, he's not breathing on his own. And they were like, no, the machines um, are keeping him alive. So I freaked out. I had to call him back, and I called my wife. I said, my bro got shot last night. He's in the hospital. Um, so I'm freaking out because I thought homie was dead for sure. Life support. They said that he lost a lot of blood, and he might be brain dead and all kinds of stuff. So we rushed over to the hospital last year, and people on YouTube remember this aspect. Um, got to the hospital, my baby bro was on life support, and I just seen my baby bro fighting for his life in a coma. Um, and it was one of the most, because like I got dead homies, bro, and I got fools that done died in my family, and I seen fools on the deathbed, and it didn't hit me till it was one of my own siblings and my baby bro. And I broke down in that hospital, and they said that they didn't know if he was gonna make it or he was gonna be a vegetable. He had tubes all in his nose, and you know um, he was just fighting for his life, bro. And it was one of the most craziest things to see my baby bro. This is my actual baby bro, and every day we was over there. I even stopped going to work, went to be by my brother's side every single day. Um, So then they said that his brain was good. It didn't hit no organs in his brain. He's not going to be a vegetable, but he has to stay on life support. Well, when they started easing him off of sedation, my brother was helpless, man, and he couldn't talk, and like it was just a hard process, bro. Well, anyways, um, in the meantime, the little homies, all these little fools were recruited. They was sitting back, and they knew who actually, you know, they were sitting back, bro. And I just felt like, they thought they just was playing with the aspect, and they should have been, getting get back. I couldn't do nothing because the cops was watching my family, and I just felt like betrayed. And I'm like, dang, it's time for these little fools to get their stripes. Um, so then I get a phone call from one of my homies, and he's like, "Hey, big homie, I gotta talk to you." He comes to my house, and he don't even want to tell me. And this fool says, "Hey, whoop de whoop, this fool just confessed. He's the one that did it, and the fool that confessed, he's one of our main little homies. He was with us all the time, so it was one of our little homies shot my bro." And I just was, my mind went to another place, and I said, "Oh hell no!" Went in the house, and I said, "I'll call you here in a minute." And I just analyzed it, bro. The loyalty aspect is, it's terrible. There's no loyalty back, bro. And if I felt like the little fool shot one of the chiefs from the neighborhood, and it was just all messed up. But I could never get over that, bro. You don't even have to worry about the enemigos and the opposition out here. You got to worry about your homies close. And you know, after my bro go out the hospital and he survived, I was just like, you know, and fools knew the name of the person that did it, and there was no get back. I was like, man, I gotta separate myself. So, you know, that was a big situation where I separated myself, and to this day, I'm kind of, on my success tip, bro, and I'm not really, you know, putting a lot of energy being around fools and all that, bro. I gotta figure stuff out and get away from what's going on. But I could tell you like this, like if I didn't make them choices, I wouldn't have, be in the situation that I am now, a brand new, beautiful crib. I don't gotta, be so stressed out here on these blocks, man. Because I used to be, if you ask my wife, I was always on edge and warfare, and that's just how it was. But yeah, that's kind of why I made that dramatic change, bro. Wild, wild. I think about it now, and I'm like, it's crazy, man. But you know what it is? Mile high salute to the riders. Let's go.